Hi everyone, welcome back to another anatomy episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a half brain as well as some different ventricles. So please like and subscribe for more content. And now we're going to get into the first topic, which is a mid-sagittal cut of your brain. So basically, mid-sagittal just means that you are cutting the brain directly down the middle into both of its different left and right hemispheres. So this is what the middle of one of those hemispheres would look like. First, you have your corpus callosum up here at the very top. It's this white C-shaped / curved looking structure. Then underneath, we have your thalamus. So this is going to be your thalamus area right over here. And then this triangular portion that is right under it is your hypothalamus. I often think of the midbrain, it kind of looks a little bit like a bird. So you have like the head of the bird and then the beak over here. You have your infundibulum, which is going to be this little like tube, and then it's going to be connected to your pituitary gland. So I like to think of a bird eating a cherry. And so the pituitary gland is going to be the cherry. Next, you have your mammillary bodies. It's going to be this little dot that is under the beak of the bird. Now, right below it, you have your cerebral peduncle. The cerebral peduncle is the first little bump, and then the second bigger bump is going to be your pons. So it goes cerebral peduncle, pons, and then below that you have your medulla oblongata, which then later just becomes your spinal cord the more that this extends downwards. Now, going over to the back side over here, this is your corpora quadrigemina. This basically just means body of four twins. So I always thought that that was pretty cool and it helped me to just remember everything. So this little tunnel that is running in between your cerebral peduncle and your corpora quadrigemina, this is called your cerebral aqueduct. So this tunnel over here is your cerebral aqueduct. Then where it kind of expands out and you have your cerebellum, this larger region over here, this larger gap, this is going to be where your fourth ventricle belongs, right over here. And the fourth ventricle belongs to two encephalons. It belongs to the metencephalon and the myoencephalon. Finally, after your fourth ventricle, it just is going to become your central canal, and the rest of the cerebrospinal fluid is going to drain out through this region. Now, going back to the cerebellum again, you'll see that you have these white little branches within your cerebellum. These white branches are called arbor vitae, which means the tree of life. And so that was another really great way to help remember it. Finally, you also have on the back side of the head of the bird, you have your pineal gland. So it's going to be this little dot over here is your pineal gland. So at the front of the bird, where the bird is eating, you have the pituitary gland, and then on the back side, you have the pineal gland. So that is another great way to remember it. So that's everything pretty much for the mid-sagittal brain. Not too much, not too crazy, and everything kind of just all connects. And if you find good ways, then it can be really simple to memorize. So now we're going to look at the ventricles. So first you have your lateral ventricles, which is going to be this top side over here. Your choroid plexus is going to be the bottom side of those lateral ventricles. So it's going to be down over here while the lateral ventricles is up at the top. Then you have your third ventricle. It's going to be this whole body over here, this whole structure, a little bit like a projection. I always thought it looked like a moose, but some people don't see it. Then you have your interventricular foramen. The interventricular foramen is going to be kind of this connecting bridge between your lateral ventricles and your third ventricle. So the bridge is your interventricular foramen. Your cerebral aqueduct is going to be the first little thin, skinny little strip of tubing over here. And then the cerebral aqueduct is going to lead to the fourth ventricle, and then it's going to become the central canal after the fourth ventricle, but the model just ends here. So you don't really even need to know about that for this model. So that was everything for ventricles. Again, ventricles are also very simple. And if you remember this half brain, basically these ventricles are embedded within your brain because you have your fourth ventricle over here in the middle of your pons and your cerebellum. And then your third ventricle, it even says thalamus, third ventricle. It's going to be laying behind the thalamus. That's where your third ventricle is. And this is your cerebral aqueduct over here. And then it goes central canal. So if you connect your ventricles to your half brain, then it becomes really easy to kind of memorize. All right, so that is everything for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something or that it helped you kind of just with memorizing everything. If you have any more questions or concerns, leave them in the comment section. If you have any video recommendations, also comment about that. And I am an anatomy tutor, so if you want some extra help, then just reach out to me through the comments and I'll get back to you with some extra resources and practice questions. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.